views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everybody. Welcome. I want to welcome you. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Welcome to a special segment today. The truth is funny. Shift happens. How do I know this? My friend, my colleague, my inspiration. Oh, my goodness. You know, I don't know if we are like the sister of a mother from another father or however all that goes. But it is so amazing to be, talking with Colette Marie Stefan. And why is that? Because many of you listen to the show. I know Benny has been the sidekick here with me for going on 13 years. We get to talk with a lot of people. But we also get to talk with folks that have decided their life was going to go to a whole new level. And when you do that, who are the people that you can point to say, wait a minute, let me look at this person because I know that a couple years ago, this person, that person, he, she, it, or whatever you want to refer to, they were just not there. Now I'm looking at them. They have a hit show, #1 platform, a brand that was literally non-existent a couple years ago. The truth is funny. And all of a sudden now we're getting to talk with them about their life, their journey, their passion, their purpose, their book, their radio show. And you think to yourself, wait a minute, I'm not her. I'm not him. But what you're going to hear from Colette today, it is about each and every one of us having this ability. What does it take to take our lives to the place that we ultimately want to go? Is it that she's not had any obstacles? Is it that she's not had any challenges? Is it that, she's had a pretty stable life, kind of living in the same place for 20 years, just kind of sitting there being all creative with things? Is that really what it is about? Or is it that we decide to make some changes and put one foot in front of the other that enables us to create the kinds of things in life that we truly want? Well, today I want to introduce you to Colette Stefan. And, here's the thing. When I think about her and I think about the many times she and I have gotten to chat, or I listen to her phenomenal radio show and the phone's jumping crazy off the hook, and you're going to find out why today. So make sure you're writing down the 800 number, 1-800-930-2819. She's amazing. She's an amazing speaker, an author, an artist. And, we're going to be laughing today. And you may be thinking, why are these two laughing about that disastrous thing they just talked about? Well, you're going to find out why today. She's been featured on many, many radio shows. She fills in for me when I'm not here, telesummits and beyond. And, besides looking at how she steps out into a world, does a radio show, she does something incredible. She joins forces with others to provide state-of-the-art energetic upgrade seminars. What does that mean, energetic upgrade seminar? What is it that she does on her show? Who doesn't want an energetic upgrade? And why is it that, this amazing woman that grew up very, very sensitive, if you can believe that, like me, rather snuggle up with a dog, a cat, a bird, a snake, you name it, whatever that is, rather than hang around with people. But here she is now. And, after creating an incredible opening for each and every one of us, the opening that I'm talking about is this opening where we get to not only know about her journey, but a phenomenal book that is coming to life. And if you're wondering what it's called, I'm going to ask her to tell you all about it. Colette, it's so great to be talking with you.
Hi, Pat. It's wonderful to hear your wonderful voice, too.
Let's talk about this for a minute if we could. A couple of years ago when you and I met, right? We were sitting and we were talking about, okay, where do we want all of this to go? How do we want it to go? And you made a conscious decision, and it wasn't just one decision in your life. It was multifaceted decisions, right? Here you are, you had a yearning to do something to help people heal around the world. But you thought, wait a minute, I want to do it in this way. I don't want to do it in that way anymore. That way I was comfortable. I would love for you to tell folks about where this all began. The truth is funny. How this came to you. And what kind of courage did it take for you to create a shift in your own life?
Oh, well, when I first started energy work, that was about 10 years ago. Before that, like when I was little, my family has a tendency to be a little bit on the what people would call psychic side. But my dad had fallen ill, within a 36-hour period, he was paralyzed from head to toe, and he was 68 at the time, and so, he was in and out of the hospital for about 3.5 years before he passed, and while he was in the hospital, there were some very, very amazing people looking after him, but there was a lot of things that happened at the hospital that I felt needed or could be done better. The problem is that the system just doesn't necessarily work in the way that it's supposed to. And so as I watched my dad struggle through what happened to him, and then he passed, shortly after that, my 18-year-old niece, she was 18 at the time, was in a car accident. And a drunk driver had hit her and her friends coming back they were about to go start university, and they'd gone on a little trip. And my niece was very, we were told that, she had surgery, and we were all excited that she was going to live. And then we were told that she was brain damaged beyond repair. And my sister absolutely refused to accept this, and she contacted a long-distance healer. And as he worked on her, she came back to us. And now she's married, she has 2 daughters, she's modeling, she's got the same, a beautiful personality. And, watching her come back from this was such a miracle. And I saw that, and I wanted to know, how is remote healing possible? And I wanted to know if I could do it. And ever since then, I kind of dedicated myself. I wanted to find out. And what I found out is that everybody can do it. And that's kind of when I realized that everybody has the ability to shift energy, to identify underlying weaknesses and shift their life into better. Ever since then, I have dedicated myself to, spreading the word.
Well, one of the things I want to talk with you about is, some of the things you just said. Here's what I want to talk with you about. I love that we're living in a world right now where you and I can talk about energy openly.
Yeah.
but even a couple years ago when we were doing this, right? I mean, if you and I would have had this same kind of conversation, we'd have probably had to go into more dialogue, right, about what that means. And about the idea, that energy, I don't really talk about this much, but Dr. Oz really did for energy what people are doing for, the GMO movement. And that is, he came out and he said energy is the next, is energy medicine is the next frontier, and we're already here.
Yes.
And, not that what Dr. Oz says, but I mean, the fact that he said that to millions of people, are you finding now that your work and what you do is not only more accepting, but that people get it and are looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm finding that probably in the last year even, but it's subtle, Pat, because there's still a lot of people I went, I'm not a big fan of going to the bar, but I went to the bar and went out dancing the other night, and I had a lot of fun. And talking to people, it was surprising because I was telling people, my friend introduced me to the people that she knew as her quantum physics instructor.
Oh, that's cute.
But no, people are if you start to say, that, everything is made of atoms, and because everything is made of atoms, we're all connected because we're all made up of atoms. And, I talk about the higher self network, HSN, which is for me, it's MSN chat.
Right.
Only the difference between HSN and MSN is that HSN, you are constantly in that loop, whether you're aware of it or not. And, you had mentioned the energetic upgrade seminars that that I do with my colleague, Mark Kettenbach. And, I just came back from Germany, and we had and he was here in Vancouver, and we had amazing seminars, and it's so much fun. Showing people that they can do this, and then watching the light bulbs go on, and then hearing about all the wonderful results that people are getting, and this is because every single time a person, 99.9% of the time a person has a physical illness or problem, there are underlying energetic weaknesses that if those are shifted, a person can step into health. If there's a person that's having a problem with finances or with their career or their children or relationships, there can be these underlying energetic weaknesses that are the real problem, and people could suffer and struggle and fight and try to make things work. And you just clear these underlying weaknesses, and you can do it very quickly. And, all of a sudden people step into better. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that people can do this. It's amazing that people are starting to realize they can do this. Sometimes people look at me like I'm crazy, but
Yeah, but you know what? Does that really surprise you? Let's talk about that when we come back. Does that really surprise you? I used to be seriously offended by that, right?
No.
Somebody looking at me like, "Oh my God, girl, why don't you get a real job?" And now it's kind of yeah, they still think I should get a real job, but they look at it now and say, maybe she might be on to something. So one eye looks at you a little crazy, the other one is not so sure what to think. We're going to take a short break. We're going to open up these phone lines. When we come back, Colette's going to tell you about what happens on our show. We're going to demonstrate it here, and we're going to talk about the truth is funny. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now. What that means is that, you ready? Stuff you wish your mom had known to tell you. Boy, that would have saved a little bit. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
I ain't too sure what I believe in, but I believe in what I see. And when I close my eyes, I see my whole life ahead of me. These are all.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life. Each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit jenroyster.com for more information.
A morning filled with dynamic, inspirational music, spirituality, and uplifting messages by TJ Woodward. Come and connect with community conversations and awaken your senses. Awakened Living Sundays with TJ Woodward. Join TJ every Sunday in the San Francisco Bay Area Chapel at Fort Mason and live streaming online 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time. To learn more and access the live stream, visit www.awakenedlivingsf.org.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you are ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com, or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
The Doctor is in. Tune in to the hit show, The Psychic Love Doctor, with host Deborah Lee. Deborah's life-affirming, highly perceptive reading method has taught Deborah how to zero in on specific problems with relationships, career pursuits, and current roadblocks to success and happiness. This inspiring show will help you never feel helpless in life or love ever again. Join Deborah Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific Time right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is a special segment of Dr. Pat Show. The Truth is Funny. Shift happens. My friend and colleague, Colette Marie Stefan, joining me here today. We're talking about The Truth is Funny, and we're talking about what happens when the truth is funny and when this idea of shift happens. What happens? You know, what is it that goes on? Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it sudden? Is it, is it agonizing? Is it yummy? What is it? And what isn't it? And so today, for those of you out there, I didn't know we were going to do this. So, I just want to tell you right now, before you email me and say, you didn't post that you were going to open up the phone lines. Well, we didn't know, but we're going to do it. 1-800-930-2819. Colette, tell folks here what happens when they call into the show. Tell them about the amazing things you do on your show with people, because I'll tell you, it is mind-blowing to me.
Well, the radio show, I like to use that as a platform to have people phone in, and if they have something that's bothering them, whether it's a pain or they've got a relationship problem or finances or whatever. And I have some of my favorite energetic practitioners, and we take the calls and we energetically shift people. And, I've been doing this for such a long time, and it's kind of become a way of life. And so I'm kind of on automatic all the time anyway. So even when I'm talking now, I'm always tuning into, what's the energy. And it's really interesting because, on the radio show, people phone in and then I hear back from them, and some really amazing things happen. And, I've seen, people with tumors that shrink and autistic children that are now doing well in school, and people who, were going for kidney dialysis and now they're not, they don't have to, and just amazing things. And it's really important that people understand that the shifting, the reason why I called it The Truth is Funny is because a lot of times when people shift, like sometimes they'll have a real major problem and they'll be like crying, and then you energetically shift them and they break into laughter. And, the truth is funny. And the funny thing about the truth is that, really it's, the truth is that, everybody has their own truth. And so, it's so interesting connecting with all these people. A lot of times people will get caught up in a story that of their life. A lot of the stories that we get caught up in, like for instance, for me, when I was growing up, like I was so shy and I was kind of bullied at school, and I used to throw up before I walked in the door at school. Like I'd be like just so nervous, and the thought that I would ever get up and speak in public or have a radio show or anything like that just seems like so far from what was, what I thought when I was a little girl. But the reason, it's just, but it was once I found that I understood that people actually, if you could give people this information and then they could make their lives better, that it would be like, that inspired me to get brave and, get my butt out there.
Yeah. And, part of this too is, sometimes we don't know. I've listened to your show and I like sit on the edge of my seat. And for those of you out there, our toll-free number is 1-800-930-2819. And I sit on the edge of my seat as you're doing this. And I would love for you to talk to this, because sometimes I hear what you're doing and the work you're doing with another individual, but I believe that, something that you've done for another has affected me in a positive way.
Oh,
and
totally.
Can you
totally.
talk about that? Yeah.
Sure. We're all connected. And what happens is if, someone's phoning in about an issue on the radio show, surely there's a lot of other people that are also having those same energetic weaknesses. And when I say like that there is an energetic weakness there, I'm not saying that the person is weak. What I mean by that is that they are out of alignment with their energy. And if you're not in alignment with your energy will not support you in what you're doing. And a lot of times the underlying weaknesses are actually not even from the person. They can be from external forces, cultural influences, educational experiences. A lot of these things we've all experienced. And so many of us share the same energetic weaknesses that throw us out of alignment into moving forward in our most powerful way. And so a lot of the time when one person's listening, I get emails like that all the time, where people say that, I was listening to your radio show and this happened or that happened for me also, and I wasn't even, participating in the show. I was just listening. Right. Yeah. And another thing is that because we're on the Higher Self Network, people tend to, like every radio show, I notice this. Like I'll ask, a lot of times I have, Mark on, I have Leroy or Phil or Sharon or Karen. Usually those are the people I have on. And I'll say, what do you want to talk about? And we'll talk about it for 2 weeks before or something. And that'll be exactly what's on in the news at that time. It'll kind of have the theme we picked for the show is, yep, this is what it's about. And a lot of people, that's because we have a frequency or a vibration that we're all kind of connected to or attracted to. And so a lot of times with people, if you're listening to the radio show, even after, it'll energetically shift them. Even my book, it took me so long to write my book because it was a compilation of, about 10 years of experiences, and I've studied many modalities, and I put it, to put it all together. And my intention with this book is that as people read it, that they will shift. And that's why it's called Shift Happens. And yes, and stuff you wish your mom had known to tell you. Yeah. I dedicated the book to my daughters and said, it really would have come in handy to have known some of this sooner.
And so let me ask you the burning question. Having now read the book, are your daughters laughing with you on this one?
Well, this is interesting, Pat. my book is some people are finding it a little bit challenging to read because, like, for my daughters, I sent them the book, and they are, they still haven't commented fully. My youngest says, I know it's going to be a big success, but, my daughters are very independent women, young ladies. Yeah. And, my oldest daughter is not really into this sort of thing.
Well, there you go.
And my youngest daughter, she's very, very intuitive, and, she'll call me or text me, Mom, can you, look at this, or can you look at that? Mm-hmm. And, so it's kind of weird having a mom like me, I think.
Yeah. You think that could be like a little bit, I mean, you know what it is, because I read the book. And I know the book is called The Truth is Funny. And for those of you out there, go to Colette's website, thetruthisfunny.com. But, here's the thing. I read the book, and here's what I think the challenge is. And I don't think that what you've written in the book is the challenge for me, because what you've created is a complete handbook to shift just about anything.
Yes.
That's my takeaway from it. Yeah. And people are not going to expect that, I don't think. I don't think they're going to expect that. I think that many people may expect your traditional, this is this book, read it, do that. No. What you put together was a comprehensive handbook. When I read it, I'll just tell you, when I read it, you know what it's akin to? The book is akin to the book that what's-her-face, Christiane Northrup wrote, 20 years ago, when she went through the anatomy of the body or something? Yeah, but that wasn't about energy.
Yeah, no, what I wanted to do is compile all the different categories. And, the thing is about shifting energy is that we may have similarities of how we get to specific diseases. Like, for instance, arthritis, often it tends to be, it's really about inflammation. And, the underlying emotions are, unresolved anger a lot of the time. And this can come not just from the person themselves, but from their ancestors and descendants. It can come from all over the place. And so this is just a guideline for people that, this is what I have to, noticed comes up a lot if it's this or that. Yeah. But always the intuition. When you're shifting energy, the intuition will come in, and quite often what happens is you'll be talking about one thing, and then all of a sudden it goes to something totally different, because the person's problem is not what they think it is. It never is.
No, never. Yeah. It's never been for me. And you know what? If I'm if I'm kind of like left to my own devices about it, I will never get at it. I will never get at the root. Now we have lines are filled. So here's my question. What would you like our listeners to be ready to ask, if anything?
If they just want to call in and if they have something that's bothering them, I'll just do my best to shift it for them. How does that
that's
sound?
What I love, because this is not a call-in show where if you're calling in and you don't really want anything to change in your life, I'm telling you, don't call into the show. But if you want something to change into your life and you're open for it, and if you've never listened to Colette's show, you're going to want to listen to it, moving forward, because things happen. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to go to the phones, Colette. The other thing we're going to do is we'll probably skip the last break because we want to get everybody in there. And we also want to talk about, what does courage mean? What does stepping out mean? How do you follow your heart forward and end up a few years later with an amazing book, a hit radio show, traveling to Europe to do workshops, and loving your life? Yeah, you can have all of that. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Have you been seeing numbers like 111 and 222 everywhere you go? Do you feel that the universe may be trying to get your attention, perhaps offering a message of some sort? As it turns out, numerical patterns and certain types of geometry form the very fabric of our reality, from cells under a microscope to the astronomy of our night sky. At Stellar Reflections, we offer special sessions which tap into these patterns, designed specifically to support you on your journey. The 111 and 222 activations are sessions activating new patterns in your energy field, which in turn can help you create new patterns in your life. After just one session with a practitioner, either in person or via distance, clients report gaining greater clarity, becoming more intuitive, and honoring their inner truth as they move forward in their lives. Curious about what these transformational sessions might do for you? Call 425-999-9836 or visit stellarreflections.com. That's stellarreflections.com.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
I love that. And you know what? That is Santana.
I know, I love that
That's
too.
Santana. I know
Rob
everybody
Thomas.
wants to talk about the other guy, but I want to talk about Santana.
Hey, I like Rob Thomas too.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Well, that Santana guitar, come on, go back and play some old Santana, Benny. Bring up some of that old guitar music and let's really get down and get going here. Colette, Marie, Stefan in the house. I want to make sure you all have some information, and then we're going to jump right on the phones. We're not going to literally jump on it, but you know what I mean. If you go to the website, thetruthisfunny.com, what you're going to do is you're going to find out just about everything you want to know about Colette, videos, events, radio show. And for those of you that are thinking, well, Pat, aren't you going to tell us? Yes, I'm going to tell you. Her radio show is on Transformation Talk Radio every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. 11 a.m. Eastern time for you Easterners. That's 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And the reason I'm telling you this is because this is one of these shows that the minute that Colette and Mark or Colette by herself go or her guests go on air, the phone lines are off the hook. I think Brian over there maybe has lost 5-10 pounds since doing the show.
I love Brian.
Like I love Brian. We got the B&B, the Brian and the Benny.
And the Benny.
And a Benny. We got the B&B. And so that's what I want to say to everybody. But if you go to her website, there's just a lot of information here. So the questions really are, and for those of you getting ready to jump in on the phone, do you want to turn life's challenges into opportunities? Do you want to connect your insight to the abundance that you deserve? I'm telling you, this is what Colette does, and she is amazing at it. Mr. Benny. And by the way, if you go there, there's information about her book. I'm so happy. I read this book, so I've had a sneak preview of it. I love it. It is going to be the book that each and every one of us is going to go to for just about anything. And, not many authors, and I want to say this and then we'll go to the phones, not many authors will tell you all of the things that Colette is telling you in this book. And they're actually advised not to do that. They're actually advised, if you're going to write a book, do not tell people everything that you want them to know in terms of how to heal themselves. But that is not Colette.
No.
And so I know, right?
I have no interest in that whatsoever. None.
Exactly. I have no interest in not. I love that. I have no interest in not whatsoever. That's a quote. Mr. Benny, let's go to the phones.
Sure, we'll take Beth. Beth is calling in from, looks like Snohomish. So, Beth, welcome to the show.
Hey, Beth.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies. How's everybody today?
Very good.
Awesome.
Good.
How can we help you?
Well, I'm calling today because I was in a car accident several years ago, like 10 years ago now, and I have had some injuries to my spine, and have had, it's really slowed me down. The pain has slowed me down considerably, and so I'd really love to be able to get rid of this pain and know where it's coming from and why it's there and what to do to get rid of it.
Can I just get a baseline from you, like the pain that you're in right now on a scale from 0 to 10? Where are you? 10 being the worst and 0 being nothing.
Probably right now it's not bad at all because I'm just sitting here. It's probably a 2.
Okay. And how long ago was the accident?
10 years.
Okay. And what age are you now?
61.
Okay, yeah, because your age was coming up weak right away. It's coming up like half a century of suffering before that. And so where were you going?
To work.
And were you loving your job at that time?
Not loving, no, not disliking or anything. It was fine. It was a good job. Yep, not loving.
And what happened at the accident?
I was rear-ended and spun around and hit by a semi-truck, and the car rolled a few times.
Okay, because we just, want to clear, like, people talk about accidents, but what's coming up is accidents are more meetings. And so we just want to clear any karma that you had with anyone that else that was involved in the accident. Were other people badly hurt?
No. Just me.
Just you, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we just want to really any karma that you had with any of the other cars around or any of the people involved, that's coming up as a weakness. So we just want to strengthen you to that. That you don't have to keep reliving, recycling, or redoing the energy that was behind that. And then we want to strengthen also your spine itself. Like, where is the pain coming from? Like, what part of your spine is damaged?
It's literally my entire spine, from my neck to my butt.
Okay.
The worst of it. I had a compression fracture in my spine, and I had 8 broken ribs, so that just threw everything out of whack. But the main reason is my low back.
Okay, what's coming up though is when you mentioned your spine and then you mentioned your ribs, the ribs were actually coming up weaker than the spine, and so we really want to strengthen that. And it's also coming up that for you at the base of your spine, at the tailbone, is where your physical potential sits energetically. You've got that's where the strength is, and so we want to really get you to be able to put some tension into your spine. And what I mean by tension into the spine is by like squeezing your buttocks and really putting some energy in, just seeing kind of like a zipper running up and down your spine very quickly. And you think about deleting the underlying issues and everything that's caused every time you do that. What's coming up though is that your rib cage is twisted a little bit from this, and that's causing a shift. And I'm getting it's actually quite subtle. Have the doctors ever said to you that your rib cage is off?
No.
Okay, because I'm getting that you have a twist to the right and down a little bit, and so we just want to strengthen you. That the problem is the pain is definitely feels like it's coming from the lower back, but I'm getting that the number one weakness is the rib cage, throwing things off a little bit. And so when you it's also coming up your breathing, and so when you breathe, you want to take a breath in, and you want your inhale and your exhale to be nice and even. And I'm just getting that ever since the accident, actually, it's coming up that you've been holding your breath, almost like waiting for something else to happen, right? Were you in the hospital for a long time?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. How long were you in the hospital?
For 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So we want to just strengthen you to that experience. Being in the hospital, the fear around that, clearing any karma around that. Were you typically the sort of person that was really active before the accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because laying in bed and being in that position in the hospital, I'm just getting, it felt like it actually reminded you, you were actually not sure whether you wanted to live or die, actually, at that time, I'm getting.
Wow.
And so we want to really strengthen you to that, like being in between spaces and, being in a position where you can shift this and move forward, and that you can regain, a pain-free life. And so, but I'm getting that you laying in the hospital at that time was very much, and when you go to sleep at night, I'm also getting that going to sleep is reminding you of that on it's a subconscious and also on a spiritual level, on the unconscious level. So we just want to strengthen you that before you go to sleep, put some tension into your spine and think about 10 things that you're grateful for that happened that day.
Okay.
Because what happens is if you put yourself into a place of gratitude, for even little things like that cup of coffee was so awesome. Yeah. Your subconscious mind, while it is working, your subconscious mind, which is your thoughts from when you were a little girl, and your unconscious mind, which is your spiritual experiences and psychic experiences, they're working all night long while your conscious mind is asleep. And so you want to really put yourself into this place of gratitude. And the reason you want to do that is because people are grateful for things that they already have. When you say, "Oh, I'm grateful for that cup of coffee," I'm grateful for So this puts you into a place where you have your subconscious and unconscious mind will focus on that, and you want to put some tension into your body, because I'm getting that. You relax your body a lot, and then it causes things to go to too much relaxation in the body, and what it's doing is it's causing you to like the organs to drop a little, and so be aware of that. Your body, just checking in with yourself and putting some tension into your central nervous system and into your spine, so that you're not relaxing it so much that your central nervous system has a hard time connecting with all your organs and all of that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you do this, and I don't know why I'm going to get the image, but, I just want to say this before we kind of let you go. I see, and maybe this is not you, maybe it's somebody else, but what I see is almost like laying on a couch or laying in a chair where your back is arched all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is. Do you do that?
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Boom.
There you go.
The Colette Pat team. And that is not going to help you strengthen your core and your core muscles. And so I think what Colette is saying, oh boy, did we get this one right? And what that means is that you find a way to sit where you actually have to use some of your muscles.
Actually,
I use a ball sometimes.
Another thing that you can do is make sure that when you are sitting, you put some tension into your buttocks.
Exactly.
Because, and for people listening out there that don't want to get old fast, if you're going to sit on your butt, you relax your butt when you do it, it causes wrinkles in the face.
Oh,
I'm all in. Hey, thank you for calling in.
Thank you, ladies.
So much.
All right.
Oh my gosh, we're going to skip the break. Again, if you want to find out more about Colette, go to The Truth is Funny. Mr. Benny, who do we have?
We'll take Mary calling in from Sammamish now. Mary, welcome to the show.
Hey, Mary. How can we help you?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi,
I would love to remove whatever blocks I have to being focused and disciplined about my business.
Okay.
I always hide behind being ADD, and I'm sick of it. I want to focus and get things done.
Oh, okay. Let's, Pat and I, isn't as perfect, Pat, because you said you wanted me to talk about this, about, how do you get from point A where you don't know what the heck you're doing, and,
Not that Colette and I have any issues with focus here, just saying, okay?
Well, the funny thing about focus is people are so concerned about focus, but think about this. If you're focused on something, then you're not allowing the next thought in. And so sometimes when people are focusing, what they call ADD, is actually focusing on other things that when you think you're focusing on something else. That's all it is. When I tested energetically, you've got very good focus. The problem is that you're focusing on more than one thing, like a typical, how a lot of people can focus on more than one thing at a time. If they're like women's brains are wired that way more so than men. Both men and women can do that. But the issue isn't your focus. The issue is what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you what is the problem? You feel that you're not making a move forward in your business?
Yeah, I just hate the marketing piece. I'm out of ideas. I can find a million ways to avoid it.
Okay, so energetically, what's coming up is when you said the word avoid. That's the big one there, and also let's just strengthen you that in any career there are going to be jobs within that career that we would prefer not to do, and we want to strengthen you like to consistent steps of action towards your goal. And so when I started writing my book, at first it was like, okay, I'm going to, when we have a business or a book or something that we want to bring to life, what happens is, it's like a plant. You can't just dedicate time to it one day and then forget to water it for 4 days and expect it to thrive. So I always suggest to people, do at least 15 minutes a day of the part, of what you're trying to build towards, when you're in the planning stages, and then recognize that you're breathing life into that. And as you breathe life into it, then, you'll start 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. I don't know when. By the time I finished writing my book, I was up to 20 hours a day some days, because it just starts to take on a life of its own.
Yeah.
It's important to recognize that those little jobs, the marketing, that's my least favorite part too. But, if you have a really good idea and a really good business and you don't market it, you're not really going to get it out there to too many people. Yeah. And so you're cheating people. Yeah. And so we just want to strengthen you to that, like taking consistent steps of action towards your goal. And, a lot of people have a tendency to force themselves to do something. And I've learned that if you've been diagnosed with ADD, that's just a label. And you can use it to work for you. Like I'll sometimes have 10 things going at once, work on them for 10 minutes while I'm strong, and then move to the next thing and go back when I'm strong to doing that again. Energetically, when you force yourself and you push yourself and you're not in alignment with that energy, what happens is you tend to sabotage yourself. So while I'm talking, I'm strengthening you to these things energetically. How are you feeling right now when I say this to you?
Well, I like the part where you say breathe life into it. That really resonated. If I'm resenting it, then that's what I'm going to get back from it.
Yeah, it's just like a little, like if a woman has a baby, there's times where the baby's crying and they're not as much fun as when they're laughing. And sometimes they need their butt wiped, or they vomit or, whatever. And so businesses are kind of like that too. Like there's parts of it that you're going to absolutely love, and then there's parts where you're really going to have to. The discipline is just recognizing that every job that you do within that project, do it with purpose. So don't be doing it going like, I hate this, la la la. Your attitude in that way, but really be okay. Put some energy into your spine, take a deep breath, and move, and say, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to dedicate myself to getting this accomplished. And then, if you can't, and it's okay if you can only handle it for 10 minutes, an hour later, do it for another 10 minutes. Rather than forcing yourself to push through it and be like disliking what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we just strengthen also what I'm getting is that a lot of people do what they think other people
want them to do.
They should do, yeah,
Right.
or want them to do. And
Yep.
we want to really be sure that when we're putting a lot of time and energy and effort into something, that we want to make sure that our heart is in alignment with that. And what I mean by that is if you take your central nervous system and you encode it with your heart, that's a powerful force. So, I'm just strengthening you to that, like consistent steps of action coming from your heart, and see what you want to accomplish in the end. Never ever put limits on that. Say, I want to, have this or better.
Yes.
Because the universe sees us as infinite potential, and we see ourselves as limited. And I'm getting that you have a lot of potential. And so we just strengthen you to that and to your goal and this or better. So that, sometimes the universe doesn't give us stuff the way we think it should be, what it should look like, or, who we're going to work with, whatever, or something will happen. We'll be really working on something and something will happen, and then it feels like something went wrong. A lot of times when things seem to be going wrong, that's just the universe giving you a slightly different steering in your course so that you could have even better. And so we want to strengthen you to that you start to, you want to have goals, but you also want to have the ability to allow the universe to provide even better.
Exactly. Wow. Thank you so much. Thanks, Colette. Thank you so much. Part of that is really, really good. I think any of us, right, Colette, in the worlds we live in, I love what you just shared, because part of that is really looking at where we put our attention. And I think she said it best. She says, yeah, if I'm going to focus on this, I'm going to get more of that. If we focus on lack and scarcity, if we focus on the fact that you can't do something, then that's what we get more of. We get more of the procrastination of that. I can't believe this hour has gone by so quickly. I mean, but it always does. I listen to your show and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the show is over already. But what happens with this is a lot of people get a lot of healing and get a lot of things moved out of the way. But also, I'd love for you to take a minute here or so that we have left to express with people what comes into their lives now.
Well, something that has come to me in the last while is that a lot of people confuse good and good is good. When people are doing good and they're doing things from their heart and, they're doing it for good reasons, good is good enough. And a lot of people confuse that with being good at something. And, let's just strengthen everybody to that, that, doing good, and that includes being good to yourself, being good, to the people around you, that, that is what we're here for. We're here to be the best version we can be of ourselves. That doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be, we have to be exceptional at everything we do, and we have to be constantly judging and comparing our success and our failures and all of that. Just coming from the heart and really putting yourself in a place where you just want to be the best version you can be of yourself, that is good enough.
Yes, I love it. And I love, love, love knowing that. Colette, thank you so much. I hope we're going to get you back when your book is out. And tell folks it's going to be
any time now.
Yeah, anytime now. And if you go to thetruthisfunny.com, lots of information about the show. And also they can schedule private sessions with you as well, right?
Absolutely, yes. I love doing private sessions with people.
I know, and people do shift. Thank you so much for today. Colette Marie Stefan, everybody, go to thetruthisfunny.com. You'll get lots of information there. Take a look at the book, and Colette will let all of us know when that book is going to hit the Amazon.
Yeah, they're saying in the next week or so. So
they like to keep you on the edge.
Yeah, you never know for sure, but then it's a nice surprise.
Right, absolutely. All right, everybody.
Thank you, Pat.
We'll be right back. Colette, you rock.